Yo, what is up? What is up, everyone? So I tried to go live at 8:30 and I had some technical difficulties. Someone Facebook didn't like, so I had to make sure everything was okay. So before I go ahead and get into everything, hopefully you guys can hear me. The mic was acting up, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm gonna go ahead and chat. Let's see real quick. YouTube is working. See if it's working. It's starting this live. Sure the audio is great. It seemed like it was great. Let me see. Let's see. Interesting. Interesting. Let me see if it works now. All right. I think something wrong with my mic. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why my mic's not working. Still not working. I'm trying to get that thing to work, but it's not working. And let me make sure everything is okay. Handy dandy. Handy schmandy. All right. Let me see. That's not working. Okay. Give me a second, y'all. Seems like my stuff ain't working. I think this has to be something different. Okay, well, I'll figure that out later. Later. So let me go ahead and get Instagram up. Boom. All right, Instagram is up and running. Happy New Year's, y'all. What's up, Instagram? So I'm gonna tell you guys the movement behind and the philosophy behind Create Like a God. So I'm gonna be talking about how to expand and build upon your creativity, imagination, innovation. Everything is created twice, first in the mind, then it becomes reality. Everything. So whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And here to bring out your creativity, your boldness, to get yourself out there authentically and boldly, and make sure your ideas, your creation won't be in the biggest real estate on earth, which is the graveyard. So I'm here to help you unlock the God within you. So I'm gonna give you guys a story about how I came up with this. This was like back in 2016. Let me go ahead and see through the comments. Okay, so 2016 is a long say story. So in 2016, I was going through a lot of thinking, a lot of understanding of saying, like, thinking to myself, why I'm not getting anywhere. I had got a car, got an associate's degree, I got a job, which I have not got a job in the degree that I ended up getting. And I started had a lot of thinking, a lot of questions in my life. And that's what actually, if you guys know my little bit of my story about how I got into digital marketing, online business and stuff, this is kind of similar, but there's something like just thoughts. There's just come popping out of my head. So one of the thoughts, like there's be random thoughts, like I just be sitting here looking at the ceiling, just thinking like, dang, what I'm doing wrong, like what's going on. And sometimes I just get these thoughts that just flash in my mind or flash and come. And one of the thoughts was, which I may sound preachy, a lot of my podcasts and a lot of my stuff, which it has to do with more Create Like a God, is more with a spiritual sense, a spiritual, and I believe everyone is a creative individual, and everyone has this creative energy. And I'm gonna explain why is that. Okay, so with that, this thought came into my head. It was more like if God created man and women his image, that image can also be destroyed and become the devil's image. And which is funny because I kept all this stuff just kept coming, and all these ideas just start coming, and everything was just like, whoa, like it like I don't want to say confirmed it, but I was thinking about some of this stuff before I end up reading books, podcasts, listening to podcasts, and I was just sitting in my mind, I guess you could say meditation. So with that, that's what came to the said. That's where I think where all this came from and what I was thinking. And another thing too, which was I remember seeing a meme that said, "Work like a slave, eat like a king." If y'all listen to my podcast, I don't know how many episodes was it. My podcast used to be called Stay Creative, but I ended up changing it, and now it's Create Like a God, which what I was saying was in my podcast was work like a slave, eat like a king, and create like a god. And there's a quote from an artist. He's a sculptor. I believe I forgot where he was from, but he had his quote, which is, you can probably literally look it up: work like a slave, command like a king, create like a god. So I'm gonna have to explain all this. This is all the insight and all the things I'm gonna be talking about, and how I can help you, and how I can bring out your creative flow in your spiritual flow. Because I'm going to explain why spiritual. This creative thing, I believe creativity is like some type of spiritual. Yeah, it's like spiritual. It's crazy. Like, I can't really explain it right now, but that is a little bit of the story behind it. And more of these thoughts, I kept looking on Google. I kept looking on like I just having questions, and I just look on Google, and I end up finding some questions. So with that, it was like mind blowing to be just thinking just how my thought process was thinking. So if you look at image, which from the Bible, which is going to be a lot of, and hopefully I don't sound preachy, but like I said, I might end up sounding preachy, because this is like, to me, it's truth. Like, to me, it's truth. It's a philosophy behind it, which if you look at image, you can look up the definition of image. I don't think people really look up the definitions or look up their origin. Image means imitation. So you're really imitating. We are an imitation of the creator, imitation of God. That's why some things I look with the personal development books I start reading was co-creator. We are co-creation. We are co-creators of our own reality. And if you look up creator, the definition of creating the origin, which it means to produce. We are here to produce. We are here to create. We are here to produce something. If you think of any animals that's on this planet, they're here to create. They're here to produce. They're producing something. Okay, bees, they're producing honey, and also procreating, multiply. So we are here to create something, every single one of us. And no matter if you don't like it or not, we are creating or destroying. If there's a podcast episode I talk about, which was before creation must comes destruction. So before something new come along, you must destroy the old. The old must be destroyed, which you can look at COVID of this year 2020, which a lot of stuff just got wiped out because COVID just took this pandemic and everything took it out. So another thing too, which me going back to having this, like, if God created man and women his image, the image can also be destroyed, become the devil's image. Now, here's something that's deep. If you look up Satan, the origin of the word is Hebrew, which is accuser and adversary. So I look at it as we are our greatest adversaries. We are our greatest accusers. We, as individuals, self-sabotage our own where we want to get to. We self-sabotage it. We are our own worst enemy. Literally, we are we're our own worst enemy. We don't want us. Not everyone may be hard on us, but we as individuals are more hard on ourselves. Okay, we criticize ourselves more than anybody else. We judge ourselves more than anybody else, and our worst enemy is ourselves. We have all this doubt that's in our head. We think, oh man, like I don't know if I can do this. Limited beliefs. So that's what I look at as when I look at create like a God. In which another thing I'll say, which if I talked about the story with Think and Grow Rich, that changed everything, the book by Napoleon Hill. And there's another book which also amplified what I'm believing in, which was this book right here, Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. I suggest y'all listen to the audiobook. It's an amazing book. And it's great. To me, it's profound. It's a profound book. Basically, the devil he is in a negative portion of the neutron of matter, which everything in the universe is made up of energy. Energy cannot, I think it's thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed to one form to another. So that's why you think like, oh, energy, when someone has this negative, you feel someone is being very negative and everything like that, is because of their energy. we're on a different wavelength, a different frequency, and people, so everyone's different. It's depending on the frequency. So that's what, when me going through this in that book, like it was mind blowing, and to be honest, it was like it was like, whoa, like my mom was going cray. I was like, dang. And I listen to this book, and there's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna be writing about, more of getting to the Create Like a God philosophy, more what I'm gonna be talking about, more of my insights, and more of what I am going to be talking about. Okay. And it's, a lot of people's gonna go against it. I understand that, but this is just a way new of thinking. And with that, this is about creativity. Yep, creativity, imagination, innovation. We're all creating, and I can go with that. We're creating, and we're creating everything. Our moments that we right now, we created it. No one else didn't do it. If you take full responsibility in being ownership of what your own mistakes, and reimagining some things, which you can manifest some things, which I believe, which one? I think prove it, which is a origin word of to manifest. So there's a lot of stuff I've been getting into, of learning and developing myself and developing this philosophy. And the core values of this philosophy is, which I'm going to be talking about, which I didn't come up until sometime this year, was create like a God, which is the mind. Temple of God is the body, and the spirit of God is the soul. And if you look up, there's a book called the Science of Getting Rich, and Waddles, I think Willis Waddles, I believe that's his name. He actually talked about this. There's no, the mind is not better than the body. The body is not better than the mind. And soul is not better. They all have to come together. They all are the same. And this is how you're going to get into your creativity, your imagination, and innovation, and be able to create, to able to produce something, to able to serve something. Okay, serve the people, able to make something that can change people's lives, or whatever idea that can help. We're here to, like, literally, we are here to produce something. We're here, everyone's here for a reason. And this Create Like God philosophy is it's a philosophy of, like I said, creativity, imagination, innovation, and unlocking the inner God within you, which is your creativity. And what are you here to do on this planet, which is planet Earth? Every animal produces something, So with that, like I said, we're co-creators. There's going to be some other little insights that I'm going to be talking about, but with this, it's a whole different way of thinking. I'm not sure if anybody else thought this. I'm quite sure they have, because there's nothing new under the sun, and most of the stuff I have been reading up on, thought of, like, wow, I was like, and even some people I talked to before, they say, yeah, you should talk about it. They tell me this a lot. I should talk about it. I should do it. And they understand, which, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was very afraid to put this stuff out. And which, if it's fear, that means I have to do something. That's something that if it's fear that's there, you have to push through it. But that's what Create Like a God philosophy is, man. We are our own worst enemy. We're our own self-sabotagers. We're our own adversaries. We're our own accusers. Okay, Satan, origin of the word of that Hebrew, accuser and adversary. We are our worst enemies. No one else is hard on us but us. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today with this live, this 14-minute live, and also episode 142 of my podcast. If y'all want to go ahead and support the podcast, or just on my Patreon, because I'm gonna be having it up, y'all can go ahead and support me on there. It's Jaron Mitchell. If you patreon.com/Jaron Mitchell. Wow, there we go. And subscribe to my YouTube. This is actually going to be on YouTube as well, and it's going to be pretty fun, man. 2021 is going to be fun, and it's going to be brutal at the same time. But it's going to be, we're going to see how it goes. But I'm here to expand, and I'm here to tell you guys my message, what I believe in, and what I'm doing, and how I can do to help and serve you. And my words can actually save someone's life, and actually you too. So whatever you got, whatever you're doing, whatever idea you're doing, you have, make it happen. Make it happen, because if it doesn't, someone else will end up taking that idea. You thought about it, because ideas are worthless if you do not act on them. And we are what we think about. Okay, we are what we think about. Our dominating thoughts that control our mind. and we can actually change our thoughts. You just got to work on yourselves every single day. Like I said, the 3, which is the mind, work on the mind, your mental, work on the body, and on your soul, which is the higher power, God, energy, whatever you believe in. And that the invisible, which another thing I can say this too. Some people that say they don't believe in God. Do you have a vision? Some people don't believe in your vision. Some people don't see your vision, but you see your own vision, right? Think about that. Think about it. You imagine your vision, you see it, but no one else don't see it. You have to paint the picture. And if you ask me if you believe in God, I do believe in God. I do. And I have just listen to my podcast. I talk about it on my podcast. But that's what I always want to say. Yeah, I'm a little bit trying to a little quiet because got someone here as well. I don't want to be too loud, and take it from there, man. So you guys have a wonderful New Year's, wonderful blessed day. And PoFoaks is now where we at. It's where we come from. Always create like a God and go ahead and produce and make 2021 the best year of your life. All right. Peace out, y'all.